friends. So this will be a more technical episode of me going over the loner decks, the loner deck overviews for the loner decks I didn't get to yet, as well as the opponent's loner decks I didn't get to yet. So I think I'll put in its own playlist as well. So I guess this could technically be part one of a new series. I mean, I guess I might as well just call it a new series. But anyway, I on to believe the Indomitable. No, I finished the Indomitable Warriors. Wait, no, I didn't actually. So yeah, I'll go through the rest of the opponent's loan decks here. I'll try to be real quick about it though. And maybe I'll also like do the goal scenario of the danger fouls to get that out of the way. So yeah, anyway, first of all, I'll go through the these two. So okay, so this one's called Six Samurai Archer that focuses on making use of Yaichi for the most part. So it's making use of like Yaichi's ability to sort of set call on the field. And in order to be able to make the best use of Yaichi, you can activate Zing Zen Hu, so that like Yaichi can like destroy the set without like needing to worry about being activated first. Because like if it's like a continuous like set and then the opponent activates it, or like even just a regular set like trap and the opponent activates it, the opponent's able to activate it, they can just like activate in response to Yaichi, and then the Yaichi didn't really do much except like maybe force an activation of a trap card. Yeah. And then Yaichi can also it's saying like can destroy your own stuff. So they have Wow Tornado in here, so that like now you can turn Yaichi's effect into like a destroy a face up card on the field. So yeah. And then so yeah, here's the other stuff. It's again like a pretty standard lineup. I think I went through a lot of these cards. Chamberlain, it's just a normal like but it does have pretty good defense, so it's a good defender. It's a good way to like maybe like set it first turn, and then hopefully it's not destroyed by battle, and then like it helps make like another Six Samurai for the other Six Samurai guys, since like they all like require another Six Samurai on the field in order to activate their effects. And then Uriza is there to help like maybe like get a little bit extra chip damage in, not really much else. And then of course they all share the ability where like a lot of these Six Samurai share the ability where like if it's destroyed by an opponent's card, you can destroy another Six Samurai monster instead. And then come on is base just destroys a face up card. Face up spell a trap, which is pretty good for taking out continuous spells or traps. Or like if you have both Yaichi and come on, like what you can do is you can maybe like force like your opponent to like activate, like if it's like a continuous face down, and then like you can just destroy it with come on if they do activate it. So like that's kind of a neat combo you can do. And then spare the Six Samurais there to basically like get you extra draws, protect your Six Samurais. Although as I showed in that one duel, you can just flip the Six Samurai this is equipped on face down, and then it gets rid of him that way. And then I mean still like it kind of protects him, since like, but like you could also like non-destroy the card. Like if you have like a way of like banishing it without it being destroyed, like you can do that. It doesn't protect it from that. And then hand this Six Samurai allows you to it just also helps destroy some monsters. You would need another Six Samurai monster on the field. Actually, it contribute. She contribute herself too, so I guess it's that. Um, and then Zanji is pretty good. It's pretty good for taking out like big boss monsters. Um, especially if it's in defense, and then you don't have to worry about this being destroyed before it can actually activate. But if you had like a whole bunch of 6 samurai on the field, you could just like use his own effect to protect himself, and then like if you have like 3, and then you'll still have like another 6 samurai in order to be able to allow this effect to resolve. But then that takes a little bit of setup. Like not many of these 6 samurai monsters are actually gonna be used. Like a lot of these like don't really have that great of effects, but like a few of them kind of do. Like the one that returns a monster on the field is pretty good in my opinion. I think that's probably like the best one, to be honest. And then you just have to like banish 2 6 samurai monsters from your graveyard, and you can fill up your graveyard with 6 samurais pretty easily. And then you can always get them back with that other one that like with that one 6 samurai monster that can like add banish 6 samurais to your hand, or there's other ways of getting them back onto the field or in the graveyard and stuff. And then Naisashi is there. The attack twice can come in handy for a little bit of extra damage as well. It can also be used to destroy 2 low defense monsters to maybe like be able to get in for like allow like one of your higher attack 6 samurais to get in for a good amount of damage, get in for a direct attack. Yeah, but I think I talked about a lot of these, but I'm just reminding you. And then this one is pretty good for being able to like not trigger flip effects. But like that's not really like usually a problem in the modern meta. So like you probably don't really need to even like, so he's not very good either. Though I suppose you could like combine him with like Book of Moon or Paleozoic Canadia to like flip a really like to flip one of your opponent's boss monsters that can be put in defense into defense position, and then you can just like destroy it without needing to worry about taking damage with this guy. That's like a decent combo. And then Grandmaster is pretty cool because he can special summon himself. You can like put one of these 6 samurai monsters on the field and then like special summon the Grandmaster, and then you automatic, and then now like their effects are live. And then Nishi is good. Is another thing that can destroy monsters. I went over that. Great Shogun Xian is usually pretty good when combined with Xian, but he's pretty good on his own as well. Like your opponent has to be smart about which spell or trap they want to activate, and like it becomes really hard when you have like negations, and so they gotta be smart. Like now it becomes much harder. Now they can't like bait a negation as well, since they can like, since if you allow that first one to go through, now they can't activate another one. This is really solid again against control decks that play a lot of trap cards or Sky Strikers, where their whole thing is about playing spells. So yeah, I think this is like actually a really solid card to like counter certain decks. Maybe even like a great side card for 6 samurais. But it might be like an okay main deck monster as well, since like a lot of decks I feel like have like typically want to play more than one spell or trap. Like even Sword Soul like has like their really good spells or traps that they usually want to activate maybe like more than one of. But I don't know. This might be a better side pick, but like since like this is only best of one, you might want to just like play in the main, but like since like you have matches in like the TCG format and stuff like that, if you're playing this deck, you probably do want at least this in the side. Because it has a pretty easy special summon condition and can like stop certain decks around their tracks. And then she had smoke signal just to add your smaller guys. Can add a bunch of them. Pretty much this whole lineup right here can add any one of these. And then Night Beam. This is Night Beam is pretty cool. It like doesn't allow your opponent to activate the set cards, so that's pretty cool. Most likely your opponent's not going to be able to like respond to this, but like they can if they activate something else, and then they can activate that other card since it's not in response to this card's activation at that point. Another way to protect your 6 samurai. So I think I would like personally just like play this one at 3. Because I think this is just a better version of Legendary Ebenstein. And then United for like the draw. Xian's Dojo for the special summon. Oh, they're not actually playing that other Bushido counter. The Gateway of the 6 samurai. Huh. And then they're playing Breakthrough again. Like, it's, I guess it's a decent, like, OTK card. Like, if you got your opponent's life points down low enough, you can maybe, like play this as a surprise OTK. And, of course, I already talked about the Wild Tornado, and then Goblin on the Frying Pan. Returns a spell to the owner's hand. Although, like, this is pretty good for those spells that can, like, only, that, like, have a hard once per turn on them. But for the most part, there's, like, better negation. Same with this one. Although, I guess it's good to, like, since it, like, resets a card, and then, like, maybe you can, like, destroy it with Yaichi. It's kind of a way to, like, see what that card is, to see if it's worth destroying with Yaichi, I guess. It's pretty good in some circumstances when like maybe like torrential tribute, like if your opponent activates like a torrential tribute while you have, and then like you have like Yaichi on the field, you negate the torrential, and then like now that you know it's a torrential tribute, you can just destroy it with Yaichi, and they miss the activation window. So I guess it's that, but like still like better ways, better negations. Oh yeah, and then these are just to prevent sets from being activated so that you can make sure that you destroy them off of Yaichi. Or like to pretty much just lock your opponent from being able to activate them anyway. As long as they're on the field. And then here's the other deck. Since I literally just talked about the 6 samurai and the tips, I'm not going to talk about them again, but I will go over the ones that you didn't see before from the literally last deck I went over. So this one is called Nitwit Outwit of the 6 samurai. It looks like they're making use of Nitwit Outwit in order to basically make like lower the opponent's monster attack and also get monsters in the graveyard. I guess like get monsters in the graveyard so they have fuel for double-edged sword technique. Yeah. And also so they have more targets for Grandmaster to add back to the hand. Yeah. And also they're talking about Great Shogun Xian. Like this one has 2. Yeah, and they're playing a lot more counter traps as well. To like that's like about like destroying negating summons or negating effects and destroying stuff. And they also have anti-spell fragrance, which is a pretty decent card. But I think this is better as a side option. But since there's no such thing as side decking, but I still don't think like this sees very much play in Master Duel, just because there's no side deck, just because it's like such a good side deck card and not a very good main deck card. I don't know if it's really worth it to play this like ever, unless like you're like forcing forcing this card to be good. Like there was like a specific, there's like Flowonderies can run Samorg that doesn't allow setting, and then it pairs pretty well with this, making your opponent not really be able to like play any spell cards like whatsoever, which is pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, the other cards are, this is just to like special summon out one of your level 3 or lower 6 samurais, and that'll help you like put like 1 6 samurai on the field, so it's a little bit easier to make sure you have like one to be able to like you put it out. Like if your opponent only has one monster, it's pretty good, because then you put it out and then you don't have to worry about it being destroyed. Or like even if it is destroyed, you can like always get back with the double-edged sword technique. And the double-edged sword technique is actually really good, because then you can just bring out like 2 of your 6 samurai guys that have like effects that would actually be useful. So like if you were like, if you need to get rid of like a threat that was in defense position or something, and you also like and you see your opponent has like a bunch of face up or face down spells or traps, you could get out those 2 monsters that fit that situation. So it allows you to like pick like the best 6 samurais for the time. And then like afterwards you can like always go into like extra deck plays, but my opponent's not actually playing extra deck. Still not bad. Yeah, and then I already talked about these, so, and then this is like has a pretty easy special summon condition. Like if you don't have any monsters on your field and your opponent throws one, you can easily bring it out. To easily like be able to give yourself a 6 samurai to make these effects live, like. And then of course the Grandmaster can also do that as well. And then Great Shogun Xian again. I don't explain why he's so good. Yeah, and I think I pretty much did a good job at explaining these for the most part. Yeah, so. Oh yeah, I guess anti-spell fragrance is actually not too bad with 6 samurai that destroys set cards, since if your opponent has to set a normal spell, they're not going to be able to activate it in response to the Yaichi. I think that's the one that destroys set spells or traps. Anyway, here's the next few. I'll just go over the loner decks here, since I didn't get through the My Deck goals yet. So here's the first loner deck. Did I already go through this actually? I might have already went through this. I forget which ones I went through. Yeah, I already went through these ones. I remember going through these ones before. Yeah, I already went through all of these. So I'll go to the Sacred Phoenix now. don't believe I went. Yeah, I didn't go through any of these loner decks. So now we're actually seeing what they look like. So yeah, this one's called Pulse of the Phoenix. This is my loner deck, the lone deck I was playing. This is just a more basic version of Nephthys, which is about getting out the ritual monsters and like putting pressure on your opponent through the use of those. So first of all, hand the Nephthys, pretty good. It has a pretty simple effect. You just need 2 monsters on the field, like this one and then one other, and then you can like special summon Sacred Phoenix from your hand or deck. So even if you just even if you don't have any in your deck, as long as you have one in your hand, it's still usable. And then Matriarch allows you to special summon level 4 lower Nephthys by destroying 1 card in your hand, which can like trigger like your other Nephthys cards that like get an effect when they're destroyed by a card effect, which is like quite a few of them. The thing, like, you can also use it to special summon your rituals, as long as they were properly ritual summoned first. You can also use it. Wait, no, never mind. And then there's Disciple of Nephthys is the next one, allowing you to like add a Nephthys monster from your deck to your hand. So that can is a nice searcher for the for the Nephthys rituals, while also like triggering the effects of your monsters that get an effect when they're destroyed by a card effect. See, I think like in this deck, like it's kind of easy to run out of cards in your hand, since you can't actually and then like if you do, you can't actually use their effects, like if you don't have any cards in your hand. So I think that was one of the problems that I had, was like I kept like not having a hand, and suddenly I couldn't use their effects because I didn't have a card in my hand to destroy. And then Chronicler of Nephthys allows you to like re-add a Nephthys card to your hand by destroying a card in your hand. So basically you're trading 1 card for another, but you're also like triggering one of your Nephthys cards effects, most likely. A few of these like aren't really gonna trigger. Really the only ritual like that has a trigger without needing to be properly ritual summoned first is this one. That actually allows you to destroy up to 3 Nephthys cards from your hand, deck, and field. And I think like kind of like another struggle is like a few of these cards don't like trigger right away. A lot of these cards, like, you need to wait until a certain standby phase in order to like be able to like trigger their effects when there's destroyed by a card effect. And this one needs to wait all the way until your next standby phase in order to special summon itself from your graveyard. Anyway, the next one is Defender of Nephthys, allowing you to special summon a Nephthys from your hand. I think this might be like maybe one of the weakest ones, but it does give you more field advantage. And like if you're special summoning this one, at least like now you can like be able to like get the have like her and this other one as a tribute, so you can get out the Sacred Phoenix. And then Sacred Phoenix is just like a way to like clear the clear spells and traps. Devotee special summons a Nephthys from your deck, so it's a way to special summon the Sacred Phoenix. Conductor of Nephthys allows you to special summon a Nephthys ritual from your deck, so you can like special summon this, and it counts as ritual summon. So like you can like so if if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can like special summon this card from your graveyard. Like that effect will be able to be active because it was treated as a ritual summon. And then Mygaku, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, which is kind of dangerous when you're like when your opponent's also playing like a Nephthys deck. Hoppy's Feather Duster to destroy all back row. Monster Reborn is pretty. These are pretty easy to stand. This gives you 2 searchers. Pretty nice. This also gives you 2 searchers. So these two like set up your ritual plays right away, which is pretty nice. And then Last Hope just allows you to destroy to trigger your Nephthys while also destroying something on your opponent's field. Extravagance for the draws, because this deck could really use the hand advance, the like cards in its hand, so it can like trigger the effects of the monsters. Lightning Storm, because it can either get rid of front row or back row, so it's pretty versatile. Rebirth of Nephthys, to like because it's like this is the Nephthys' ritual summon, ritual spell. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, and also has the extra effect of being able to destroy something if you use a summon monster as a ritual material. Phoenix Wing Blast to be able to put something on the top of your opponent's deck without like triggering their when they're destroyed by a card effect ability, so that's pretty nice. And then Awakening of Nephthys, since you can like activate this in response to like something like trying to destroy one of your cards, and then like suddenly you get a special summon of Nephthys from your hand, deck, or grave. Most likely it'll probably be the Sacred Phoenix, but you could also go for like Disciple of Nephthys, Chronicler of Nephthys, Defender of Nephthys, if you can like maybe if you like know you can like keep them out, so you can like use their effect. Also you can trigger its own destruction by through the use of this card. You can just destroy this card with this guy's effect, so you can get this card activated while also destroying one of your opponent's monsters. And then Heroic Light to like get you the ritual monster ritual spell. Although like in order to do that you would have to bring it out first, since like there's no way you can send to the extract to the graveyard, which I don't think you're playing any tunes, so I don't even know how you're supposed to bring this card out. Maybe like through one of the other links. I don't know. I don't think that is it even a way to get out. Maybe like you're hoping to Monster Reborn or an opponent's tuner. I don't even know. I don't get it. Anyway, Almirage, it can help protect your monsters from destruction by your opponent's card effects, which is still pretty good even though they get effects, because like you might still want the board presence. Nephthys, the Sacred Presence, to be able to like add one of your high level ritual monsters, or like your Sacred Phoenix even, or like or be able to like trade off one of your Nephthys monsters for another while also triggering that the ones effect on the field, you can use this to get back your like level 8 guys if you like or like your Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. And then Herald Emerge Lights is another negate, and also like is a searcher for your ritual stuff. And then Nephthys is Sacred Flame. Like you're probably gonna rather want to like keep your rituals on the field, though it doesn't have bad effects. So yeah, you kind of saw that in the Praxil though, like how that one link works. Okay, here's the other loner deck. This one is combining, this is the one combining Magispectors with Nephthys. Also has a lesser pendulum, since it counts as a Draco Slayer, so you can actually make use of this the second ability of this card. Yeah, and also the spells are pretty nice, since you can also like tribute off your Nephthys cards in order to activate the effect, since your Nephthys cards are also wind spellcaster. At least most, or at least the non-ritual, a lot of your Nephthys cards are wind spellcaster actually. Yeah, all like really except the Cerulean. Anyway, and then also it makes use of pendulum summoning too a little bit. Okay, so I already went through the Nephthys card, so here's the new Magispectors. They're just like searchers for like your different cards, so like they can get your different stuff. This searches for any Magispector cards during the end phase. This searches for a Magispector monster. This one also searches for a card. This searches oh wait. This is searches for any card as long as like the card you destroyed was one of that same name. So it's pretty versatile. And then Crow searches for a Magispector spell, Fox searches for a trap, and Toad sets a Magispector spell or trap. It can't be usable during that turn, but if you're setting a Magispector trap, it won't be usable anyway. So it really doesn't matter. And also like the searchers is also pretty good, because it just gives you like cards in hand that you can like, if you're in a pinch, you can like destroy off of the Nephthys effect. So you can actually be able to like trigger the other effect to either like add something or special summon something, or etc. And then I already went over the rituals. Terraforming searches for the field spell. I actually never saw the field spell in the duels I played with this deck, which one duel I cut, but I didn't even see in that first duel that I cut, that I lost the first time. But this only this gives a little bit of a boost, while also having another effect that lets you basically trade one of your wind spellcaster monsters for a Magispector monster, while also triggering that Magispector's monster's effect to add something else, which is pretty cool, since all these Magispector's monsters can get their ability on a special summon. And then Rebirth of Nephthys, again, I already talked about that. Cyclone is pretty nice. And then these are here to like be able to like get rid of your opponent's monsters in various ways, or like negate their summon. And then this one can like put cards back into your deck, Magic Spectre cards back into your deck to draw a card, so you can recycle the spells and traps mostly, since you're probably not putting the pendulums in the graveyard that much. And also allows like you to make sure your Magic Spectre cards are going through. And then Daigusto Phoenix to attack twice, get in for a bit of damage. Like if this attacks twice directly, like it can get in for 3,000 damage, or it can destroy 2 monsters. So either way, pretty good. And then this allows you to add another pendulum. It allows you to add any of your Magic Spectres or your lesser pendulum to get more searches. And then also this can special summon the Draco Slayer from your extra deck, which I don't know how much you're going to be using it, but it's there. And then Duel Chimera. You're probably not going to be going into this one very much, because you don't have very many like fires except for the fires in your X deck. And then this, which you're probably not going to be wanting to use for anything. I think the only you only have like a few, so really like you're probably going to be most likely using this one. So it's going to be like, you're probably not going into this. Although it does allow you to recycle, like add fires back from your graveyard to your hand. And then Great Fly is more likely that you're going into. And since you're playing so many wind, its effect is going to be a lot more useful. Giving all of your wind monsters 500 attack and defense. And then also allowing you to add a wind monster back from your graveyard to your hand, which is pretty nice too. Putting a card into your hand. Allowing you to be able to like use the Nephtus effects. So yeah, it's pretty nice. While also like maybe recurring a card that you really need. Like it can also put back one of your rituals too. And then this one, I already talked about what that does. Hida allows you to steal your opponent's fire monsters, which like it might be worth going into her when your opponent has the Cerulean, like that has been properly ritual summoned in the graveyard. So you can steal it before they can actually special summon it, which is pretty good. I mean, it's a little hard to go into, but like it is worth it though. I think if this is what you're going to steal. Even if like you're using your own Cerulean to go into this, if you're planning to steal a Cerulean from your opponent's graveyard, it's probably worth it. When the Wind Charmer allows you to steal a wind, which your opponent's gonna definitely have a lot of, since they're also playing some sort of Nephthys deck. And then also this allows you to add a wind from your with 1500 less defense. See, like the other one, oh wait, and actually this one has 1500 less defense. So Hida can actually search you as Cerulean too, so that's pretty nice. This one can search for more stuff though. And then Selene, if there's a bunch of spells in the graveyard, you can use this to spell summon one of your spellcasters from your graveyard or your hand. But most likely it'd probably be the graveyard. And it doesn't negate the effect, so that's pretty nice. Okay, and then here's the last one. So this one is combining Nephthys with Charmers, the Charmers deck. So I'll start from here. This one simply allows you to like take control of a wind monster on your opponent's side of the field, which when combined with Unpossessed, it's not too bad, since it makes it so that it cannot be destroyed by battle. and this one has to stay on the field in order to be able to take control of a wind monster. And then Familiar Possessed Wind. The cool thing about the Familiar Possessed Wind and Ranryu is that they can like summon themselves from the deck, so you don't have to worry about like getting them into your hand first. Familiar Possessed Wind, you have to send a Wind, the Wind Charmer, and a Wind monster you control. And it just does piercing battle damage. This is a much better effect, I would say, and an easier summoning can. Oh wait, no, this one doesn't allow. This one isn't the one that you special summon from the deck. It's this one, and I think this is a much better one anyway. And this one is much easier to special summon. Because when special summon, you get to return a card your opponent controls at hand. And when sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a Spiritual Wind Art or a Possessed Spell or Trap, which is 2 good effects. And then Ranryu is pretty good too, since it allows you to special summon a monster with 1500 attack to defense in your graveyard, which you don't have very many targets. Do you have any targets? I don't think you have any targets. I don't think you have any targets actually for this guy. Wow. Don't actually have any targets, so I guess he's more just used for the being able to special summon himself pretty easily. And then you can like use him for your link plays. And then when the Wind Charmer searches for another one of your wind monsters with 1500 less defense, and since the ritual monsters have low defense, also you can search for any of your ritual monsters as well, except for the Cerulean, since it's not a wind. But you can like search for most of your cards. Really, the only card you can search for is the Disciple of Nephthys. And of course that's Cerulean, since it's not wind. I already talked about that. But the searches for this card are pretty good. I'll go over that in a second. I want pretty much one of these. The pre-preparation of rites again is good, since it can search for 2 different stuff, and it doesn't have any like, and it doesn't have any restrictions. And then here's Green Spiritual Art. I believe you can search it off of, oh wait, no, it's a Spiritual Wind Art specifically, so you can't search for this one off of it. This one basically allows you to like reveal one of your spellcasters to add one with 1500 attack and defense. So this literally searches for just one card. It literally only searches for the Ranryu, and that's it. I don't know if that's worth it, but like, I guess like. And then Awakening of the Possessed can actually be searched off of the Awakening of the Possessed card. And this allows you to basically like get a draw whenever you like summon something with 1850 original attack. So really, it's really this one. You need to summon this one specifically in order to get the draw. Still again, like so specific though. But at least it also allows it also gives your monsters a little bit of a boost, and also protects your traumas and familiar possessed monsters from being destroyed by card effects. But that draw is probably not going to come up too often since it's only for one card. And then Spirit Shamans is really good since it allows you to add 2 different things from your deck to your hand. Pretty good. And you can discard any card. And then Spiritual Wind Art is pretty good because like it puts monster back into the deck, which is like one of the best places to put it. You can put it on the top to mess up your opponent's draw, or on the bottom if you don't want them to draw it. And then Possess Partnerships allows you to revive some of your monsters. But it's 1500 defense specifically, so it only revives one thing. So like a lot of these all about like, oh, I suppose like it revives 2 things. My bad. It revives 2 things and then triggers off of 2 things. But still, like when it only has a few targets, I'm not sure. I don't really like it like when like it only has 2 different targets. But at least this has the other effect where as long as you have 2 or more different attributes, you can destroy a face-up card on the field. You can get that. You're playing a few different attributes. And then Unpossessed is the one. I already talked about this one, but it has another effect where when you're attacking with a familiar possessed, it can gain 800 attack so it can attack over something that's strong. That's a little bit stronger than it. And then this also has the other effect that allows you like special summon, like pretty much either this or this from your deck when it's destroyed by a card effect. Oh wait, yeah. And then I already talked about that one. And then Castella's a new one here. More likely, like it'll just be spinning something back into the deck, but it's also got the effect to change something to defense position. That's probably not going to come up very much. And then Tornado Dragons to a back row. And I talked about those. And again, you're doing the Wind Spellcaster trauma specifically so that they can like mix in a little bit better with the Nephtus. Okay, so there's the decks. There's all the decks. And now I'll go through the goal scenario. I just want to finish this up. And I'll also talk about the secret pack afterwards. So here's what I get for clearing it. Same as Sarah. Oh, this is a specific counter to ritual summoning. I don't think this is really like... I don't think ritual summoning is prevalent enough for this to really be justified being played even in like side decks for TCG or like Master Duel tournaments when you're actually making use of side decks. But like it can definitely be useful if there's like ever a really good ritual deck. Like maybe like Necros, it could have been useful for maybe when Necros was really good. I'm not sure though. Even then, there might have been like better ways to stop the Necros. And then here's the card artworks that will be showing up in the story, say, in this final story. Yeah. Okay, let's go. But one day, disaster struck. Without a single warning, one tremendous entity arrived in their land. The soldiers armed themselves for battle immediately. They had faith that all evil would bow to their god, and the standing priest at the time manifested the Phoenix god once again. Little did they know the bringer of ruin they faced had even greater power. So I wonder if all of these artworks come from cards, or like if a few of them are unique. The Phoenix god's strength was insufficient, and the desert land was left defenseless against this calamity. The only hope the people had to protect their home was a young girl who many believed had the potential to become the next priest. When they tried to appeal to their god again, there were no offerings, no music, no dancing. And only the whispers of the girl as she devoted herself to prayer while her homeland burned and crumbled around her. The god heard her genuine wish and answered to the cries of her heart. In the girl's soul dwelt a power so divine and unheard of in its intensity that she was able to awaken Nephtus, the sacred flame. The crimson Phoenix god descended with its flames of gold, and with one swoop of its wings the fires ripping through the land disappeared. Once the catastrophe had settled, the god became a statue once more. A few months later, peace had returned to the people's homeland, and they were once again holding a ritual in honor of the great Nephthys. Among the worshippers was the girl who had been the sole ray of hope in the disaster. She seemed more mature now and carried the air of one who was determined to be ready for whenever the next tragedy struck. She clasped her hands together and prayed for another day of peace and wellness. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let the videos be about an hour, or I'm probably not. I think I'm gonna start not doing a ton of editing. So even if the video's on an hour, I think I'm just gonna be okay with that. Because I don't think it really matters too much right now anyway. Maybe later on when I get a lot of subscribers, I'll care a lot more. But it takes a long time to get a video down from an hour to even to 30 minutes. There's a lot of I got mostly I'm looking for a lot of intricate small stuff, and that can be really hard to find. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Just allow them to be around an hour, and I think that'll be okay. Anyway, sorry. Here's the secret pack. It's called Rouse from Destruction. And then here's the cards that you can get a higher rate from this secret pack. So I'll just go through them so far. So it looks like you're able to get the Nephthys cards, the Unchained cards, and the Fire King cards. Which it makes sense that they're grouping the Fire Kings in with the Nephthys, since that was the two original since a lot of people were playing Sacred Phoenix with the Fire Kings back in the day anyway, and they shared that whole when it's destroyed by a card effect thing. Oh, and they also have a random Metaphys Nephthys. I guess because because it's basically a Metaphys version of the Nephthys cards. So they randomly put it in there. I think that's the only Nephtus card in here, though. So that's kind of random, but I guess that does make it so that... Wait, no, actually, it's just a normal, so, like, even if you did craft this, it wouldn't unlock this secret pack, since it has to be super rare higher. Anyway, so yeah, this is, so I mean, I don't think you would think the Unchained would be in here, but I guess it makes sense since they also want to, like, destroy themselves too. They also kind of rival, or revel in their own destruction as well, so that's good to know that the Unchained also in here. So if you're interested in the Unchained, this is a good pack to find them in. And of course, if you're interested in the Fire Kings and the Nephthys, it's also good for that. But I'm not exactly sure of rarities of the Unchained, but you probably want at least one of this guy. One of each of the links, I think. I think all of the super and ultra rare links for the Unchained are pretty good. I'm not exactly certain, but... And also this pack has a few of the Unchained spell and traps as well. But you can just like craft those like if you already have the higher ready guys. But like if you're going for these, you're probably gonna get a bunch. And then you can just craft the rest of the copies since rares and normal CP is really easy to come by. And then as for the Fire King deck, I think like how you want to probably play it, maybe 3 of the Grunics, because he can just be special summoned off of the Onslaught. So he probably won't be a brick. Yeah. And then like probably maybe 3 Kirans, because this one's pretty good. It allows you to send a fire monster from your deck to a graveyard, which helps make Circle live. And then Brong, maybe just 3 of each of the monsters even. Or maybe just 2 Brongs, I'm not sure. And also Rekindling is a pretty good deck for the, is a pretty good card for the archetype as well, since a lot of their, like lower level main deck monsters are 200 defense. And you can also feel free to combine with the Nephthys if you like. Yeah. But yeah, you probably don't need to play a ton of like the cards like that, like the loner decks we're trying to show. You could probably play just like less copies of like each of them. Though you might want to play like extra copies of the rituals, just because like they're kind of harder to see, because you need to get them specifically from the main deck. Especially maybe extra copies of Conductor, since she has a pretty good destruction by card effect ability as well, allowing you to destroy even more of your Nephthys cards to trigger more of your Nephthys card effects. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please leave a comment down below to help the algorithm, even something as simple as an emote. I'll also be putting another verse in the description, so you can also make a comment discussing that if you like, and I'll try to like reply to those comments. I try to reply to every comment, but I'll do my best to like think of something well thought out if you'd like to discuss the verse a little bit. I'm okay with that as well. And also please stay tuned for the next Master Duel video that's coming tomorrow, and you can ring the notification bell if you'd like to make sure you're notified about that. Bye.